Johnson likes to do things last minute. I like to prepare in advance. I like to be prepared, not rush into things. And so what happens is many times what we would find is we'd be getting ready to plan something. We're gonna go on vacation. I'm like, hey, can we talk about this? It's 2 weeks out. He's like, babe, really? We're like 2 weeks out. Yeah, we're like 2 weeks out. I'd like to plan this out. I'd like to have some things in place. He's like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. Right? And we get in these huge arguments because he's more last minute. So he likes to prepare the day before anything, where I am let's plan this out and be more strategic to plan in advance. So
I like to think of it that I'm a good steward of my time. And then another difference, I'm an internal processor and she's an external processor. And so what that means is my mind's like going 100 miles an hour. And I'm thinking about everything and I'm processing it before I speak it. So what that means is usually by the time that I speak, it's pretty well thought out thought that comes out. She's an external processor, which means where I'm like, la, la, la on the inside, she's like, la, la, la on the outside. And I'm like, what are you even talking about, right? But as she's talking it.
Like, be patient, it's coming.
Yeah, but as she's talking about it, she's like, oh, and she's forming her thoughts outside, right? But that's led to frustrations in our marriage where she's like, you don't talk enough. And I'm like, well. Sometimes you talk a lot.
Again, the Lord puts you with somebody to balance you out, right? And then we read the 5 love languages, if you haven't read that. It's another one. In the 5 love languages, it talks about how we give and receive love differently. And when we were dating and then when we got married, I love to give Johnson cards. I would go to the store. I would look intensely through the cards. What describes how I feel about this man, right? And then I'd put all these personal thoughts in there. I'd process it on the card and give it to him. He's like, oh, what's this? Are you kidding me? I just poured my heart and soul into this. And it's, oh, what is this?
It's right? Not a Hallmark movie.
It's not. Why? Because he wanted physical touch.
Yeah, I did. Amen.
So I'm all upset, right? He's not giving me cards. You could put this on your mirror when you get ready. You could sit in your car and look at it throughout the day, like when you come home from work.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Remember how much I love you, right?
Yeah.
Then he's upset over there because I'm not giving him physical touch, all the back massages and everything else, right?
And everything else.
And Johnson Hillbilly.
We're not recording this, are we?
Oh, it's out. Oh my goodness.
But over time, we came to this realization. We didn't marry a robot.
Right.
Right? I didn't marry myself. Come on. And so I had to come to this realization. She's unique. She's not just like everybody else. In fact, when God made her, he threw away the mold, right? Like, God doesn't make duplicates. She's unique in her own amazing way. And so here's the question. If you're married out here, when you look at your spouse, who do you see? Do you see what God sees?
Amen.
Or are they a formula? Somebody, if I give this X input, I'll get Y input out, as if it's all about me. Or are they absolutely, beautifully, amazingly unique? Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. That God put his unique dreams and passions and abilities and callings and purposes inside that person, that they were made for something great, just like you and just like every other person in this room and just like the waiter this afternoon and just like your kids and just like your coworkers and just like your neighbors. They are beautifully, fearfully, wonderfully made. That God smiles when he created them. God rejoices over them with shouts of joy. And that's what makes two becoming one in marriage so amazing. Amen. Paul calls it a mystery. It wouldn't be a mystery if you married yourself, somebody who is just like you. It'd be natural. But when you marry somebody who is themselves, that is, God puts two to make one, and he's the third cord that binds it all together, something amazing happens in this thing called marriage. And this is so important, because if we don't pause to understand that and appreciate that and value that, then we'll get frustrated by that.
Right.
We'll get frustrated by our differences. And instead of celebrating our differences, we'll criticize our differences, right? And we'll find ourselves saying things like, well, why doesn't she do more? Or why doesn't he feel more? Why doesn't he talk more? Why doesn't she talk less? Right, come on, like why does she have to be so planned out? Why is he so last minute? Well, you're so over emotional. Well, you're under emotional. And here's how I'd say it, guys. Let's treasure our differences, not trash them.
That's good.
Let's treasure our differences,
Amen.
not trash them. That person in your life is unique and amazing. Come on. They are different than I am. That doesn't make them insensitive. This is one of the biggest realizations. That doesn't make them intentionally insensitive. It doesn't make them intentionally a jerk. It may feel that way to you because you're one way, but they're another way. But that's what makes you uniquely you and them uniquely them.
Amen.
Thanks for stopping by our channel. To learn a little bit more about our church, stop by connectivevictory.com, where you can find a campus near you, give, or even join an online small group. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because we have a lot of great content that's going to be coming your way. So don't forget to hit that bell icon so you don't miss a thing.